back to my share. I'm not exactly sure what everyone's seeing at the moment, so if you're not seeing what I'm saying you should be, let me know that as well. And that you're going to have to text me. Hopefully that is my text is functioning, because I am getting some text in, but it would not let me dial you guys back. So let's go back to where we were, and that was in the toolkit, which is here. So what we did was, and if you guys don't mind, I am going to go back just real quickly, because we are going to leave the page and on screen. Save anything just yet? Okay, so where we were with toolkitcma.com, again, having a full class on this next Wednesday. For this, what we're working on right now, we're going to stick to presentations. This is the listing presentation, and we are working with sellers today. It will default to the listing presentation here, which is simply a PDF, printable. Again, I have my defaults already chosen, and we will talk about how you can do that on your own next Wednesday. I'm going to choose next. Just for the time, I'm going to click on the Use Last Prospect, and it did obviously save the information I had put in prior to the drop. I'm going to click on Next. I have my pre-populated letter, again, can be changed each and every time. I'm going to click on Next again. I took my drop down to my GSMLS residential search. Again, I typically, when doing a presentation, will have my properties chosen and saved in MLS the minute that, or prior to going in. So connecting to the MLS here, we know for sure that I am already in, so I'm not going to re-sign in. And so I'm just going to click right here to my MLS. So again, from the drop-down search, I am simply going to pick my saved results, which again is where I have them. This is our training. I picked these properties just for today. Clicking on View, choosing All. I'm clicking on the download. Again, not getting too crazy today, just downloading. And I'm saving my file. We'll get into some of the nitty-gritty on how that functions next week, but in the meantime, I'm going to click on Browse. I know that mine go into my downloads, so I'm going to choose my download file, hopefully. And we're going to Contacts, Open, Upload, and it will load them all in. So at this point, it's going to take a, if it does, GSMLS residential search. Go back in here, do that again. My full download, it was a residential search, and it's not liking what I put in. This is not going to be a good day today. Hold on for me 1 second. Let me just go back here and find out why it didn't like what I was putting in. To pick all of my every GSMLS. Like garbage because it's supposed to. I'm sorry, guys. Give me just 1 second. It was a residential search. I picked a residential search, and for some unknown reason, it is not thinking that I have a residential search. Give me just 1 second. Residential properties, and try that again. 5 with you on there. You guys are with me. If you are not seeing my GSMLS, let me know. But I am going to go, I'm just going to do a real quick search live. I usually like to save it. I don't know why it wasn't doing what it was supposed to, but I am going to active under contracts and sold, 3-bedroom. Try to do things in advance. Click on search. Seriously, I'm just going to click on one of everything that really is irrelevant. I just want you to see how quickly it functions. Okay, and I close, and I'm going to file. Close my GSMLS. Don't need it any further. And I'm going to go here, and we are going to browse, download, and upload file. That one worked perfectly fine. I don't know what I did differently, but okay. Okay, so this is going to take just a few seconds because I don't have all of the pages. If you have all of the pages for the first time checked, what's going to happen is it will take a little bit longer. But because I don't have all of the pages, you don't need all of the comps. You don't need 3 different cover pages. But really quickly, we're going to go into my documents. And we are going to go to Custom CMA, and I just want to show you what it looks like. So this is what the full sample of what I just did will look like. I will take it down to a page, zoom page down. There we go. And these are the pages that we have in there. That would be the cover letter, and this is what it will look like in a PDF. And that didn't take any time at all, even with the fact that I had to go back in and pick my comps. It was a matter of minutes, and you end up with a custom presentation. So this is, again, I know Diana had used that page on Tuesday, and she took some of the syndication pages to go over what the scripts would be and how to explain them. But we're not going to be doing that today. We're just going in and showing you how quickly some of this can actually be done. So going back to here, and again, all I would do here is just next all the way through. Not going to do any of this, just going through. And it's simple as, again, I'm just going to click through next and yes. Gives me my range, but that's what that presentation is going to look like as soon as I click on Create Presentation. I'm not going to do that right now because it will take forever. The other presentation that I would like to go over, again, really quickly, is, and now that everything's in there, we know it's going to save, is the PowerPoint option. So for anyone that prefers to use PowerPoint, I quite frankly like to print in a landscape format, so I will use the PowerPoint even if I'm printing and use that for my leave behind. It will also, for anyone that does not have PowerPoint or likes to use a tablet, it will convert that PowerPoint into PDF slides. So you can use it on any device. And unfortunately, I made the mistake of hitting save. Okay, great. And it took a little bit. So going back to presentation, the listing slideshow has the same options as far as slides. They're just in a landscape. Vanessa put them in landscape. We're going to click on next again. I'm going to use last prospect here. I am going to click on the same exact download options in here and upload my file. It's going to take the same amount of time, and while that's doing that, I'm going to go back to my custom CMA folder, and you can see what that presentation looks like here. All kit and caboodle. You'll see here I was able to, this is customized for a consumer. You will see that you can go in and make some changes here, but for the most part, this is what we're looking at. So you'll see the slides are identical content, but in a format that you can actually use in PowerPoint or print in landscape. The other thing I just wanted to do while this is uploading in progress, while this is doing its thing, and I don't know that I have that. I know I keep jumping back and forth. I was hoping that I saved, and I guess I did not, that I saved it in properties. And we're going to move through our next thing here, end of the presentation. Because what I wanted to show is for anyone that does not have PowerPoint, I know it's not everyone has the Microsoft Office suite. If you simply click on Create a PDF of the slideshow and click on OK rather than the download, what will happen is you will generate slides in a PDF so that, again, you can use it on a desktop, you can use it on a Mac product, you can use it on any of the tablets, anywhere that you have a PDF reader, it will function. And that was actually pretty quick, so I'm going to click on Open so that we can see what this looks like, and it's about 10 seconds away. And again, just really quickly how this is coming out, custom pages, your branding on here. So there you go. So now you're looking at a PDF of that very same slideshow right out of the system. And I'm going to click down so you can see what that looks like. Now at this point, you're not going to be able to make any changes because it is a PDF. So you need to make sure that in your presentation when you're doing it that you have chosen all of the pages that you would like. But this is right out of the system, did it right in front of you. Again, as simple as that was. Where we're looking at next, and then we're going to go into some best practices, and I will open up for questions on that, is Diana had mentioned that in Prime Agent, there is also a presentation. And it is downloadable, and you can, I'm going to show you where it is, and then because it takes a really long time to download, I've already done it. We're going to look at the marketing library, and you will see right here under listing presentations, they've got their PowerPoint. You've got your traditional, both single agent and team, as well as the platinum logo single agent and team, and it's simply clicking on here and doing the download. And we'll talk about in a second, I want to show you what it looks like first. And it is a little scary looking when you first open it up because it's got a lot of instructions, but don't let that hinder you. It's really not that difficult to use. So this is the instruction slide, but again, you'll see that some of these look very familiar in that they were some of the slides that Diana had up on Tuesday, specifically this one, which is the Your Buyer, as well as the statistics here with the home buyers and sellers. What would be the benefit of using this over the other? What I found was, and I used to tell when we were doing just a custom CMA class itself, I would recommend only using a portion of the toolkit in order to keep it fresh when you actually get that listing the listing appointment. So you don't want to print out all of the toolkit pages and send it prior as far as pre-listings go. So we were talking about pre-listing packets I guess that was 2 sessions ago. So what I decided for myself was to use some of these, and I don't use all 50 slides because I think that's just a little overkill. Using some of these for your pre-listing, your FSBO, your expireds, so that when you do get that appointment and you're in there on that listing presentation and you're showing how you differentiate yourself company-wise and personally, you'll have the toolkit. You've got 2 different presentations. So there would be, and I think I have it on actually my outline. I never put it anywhere. Was the pros and the pros of having both of them accessible is that you can actually alternate and have something completely different when you're on that listing presentation. And I will go over this a little bit more again next Wednesday, this particular slide as well, the presentation, just to go in and show you some of the ways that it can be customized. So just something to think about as far as, what you can do to utilize both. The other presentation is definitely more on a level where we're emphasizing and highlighting some of our syndication, things that make us different as a brokerage, where this presentation will go over what makes us different as a company. So again, each one can be customized, each one can be personalized, but you'd have to decide, if you wanted to use one or the other, or like I do, a combination of the 2, one for pre-listing expires and FSBOs, and the other one for my actual listing presentation. The other thing that I want to go over is wherever possible, update the statistics if you can. I know if you're using the PowerPoint presentation on the Toolkit CMA, it's most certainly a lot easier because you can go in and modify the slides and the pictures, not so much on the PDF. And the same thing with this one, the home buyers. Some of these numbers may be a little bit more updated, although I do believe that the 93% on this one is accurate. But if you have the opportunity, and then personalize. With Toolkit, and I say this and I have people look at me when I do this in a live class, with the Toolkit CMA, there is a page, and I am going to go back hopefully really quickly and show you where that is, but I'm going to go on to the summary page here. With the Toolkit CMA on the home page, I'm going to click on no because it's going to take too long. Under presentations, there is a, hopefully my template page. Here it is. My presentation template page. All this is, and I'm going to click through just because it's simple as can be. I don't know why they make it. All this is really a blank page that matches the presentation. So you have your header and your footer row, and I'm going to show you that right now. Here's your header and your footer row. I don't know why my Adobe opens up in 190, but I am going to shoot it down to 100. And what you do with this is you print it out with the presentation or print it out separate and use it as almost letterhead. So that anything that you do different, let's just say you've got that 5-star agent award and you've got a page, a Word document that has that highlight, circle of excellence, anything that you want to highlight about you, you can print this out in color so that it matches the presentation on Toolkit. And yes, you can do this on the PowerPoint as well as the Realty Executives International one. Print it out, refeed it back into your printer as letterhead, and print that Word document so that it does come up in the body of this presentation. And so that's something that would make you different. That would be something that is exclusive to you, but it's within the brokerage information, so you're still using all the bells and whistles that we have on everything else. But it's different because it's all about you when you're on that listing presentation or you've got that leave behind. So that's it for me as far as the digital presentation. I am going to hope to go back here and see if we've got any questions on digital presentations. So if you want to pop in a question on digital, again, that entire section will be done live on Wednesday, and hopefully you guys can attend. I'm not seeing anything as far as questions on, and hopefully everybody could still hear me. I'm not seeing any text otherwise. So where we're going to go next is website. Now, I know I had done, and we're going to go back into the share, I had done the Prime Agent website training, both a short version about a month ago and then the long class most recently. We're going to go back to my Prime Agent dashboard. I'm going to close out some of this so that it stops shaking because we don't need that anymore. So let's go back to the Prime Agent dashboard here. And when I did that Prime Agent, or when I do any website, because this really can be utilized on any website that will allow you to create a custom page. We were 2 hours into the training, and I tell everyone how they can create their own e-property or individual property site just by using the custom pages. And because everyone's head looked like it kind of hurt, I stayed away from getting into just how to do that. But I do today want to go in and just show you what it looks like when we've created that. Now, simply, I am not doing anything extra. I am not spending any extra money within our marketing tools. However, I would always recommend, if you're going to make this promise, for the $3 that it may take or may not take to purchase an individual domain for that property, that may be your only investment or the only investment you want to make. So going to my personal website, so here's DonnaSpinetta.com. This is what it looks like. This is where that property page, and I will show you the front end or the consumer side, and then we'll go in and just show you what it looks like on the back. So I'm going to click on, because this is where it will display on everyone, local area information, and you will see that I have a property, and this is a listing that I already sold, 168 Mountain Road, and I am just for compliance sake making sure that I have everything listed as sold so that there are no problems. This right here, I simply clicked on. This is our mobile. I grabbed this from mobile. All I did was click on a button that said share and embed and paste it. And again, when we do our advanced website, I'll go a little bit more into it. But this is generated right from our mobile, so it didn't cost me anything extra. It will play. I'm going to hit the play button. It does have some music, but basically you just need to see. So when the consumer's on the site, again, this is the consumer. This is not a password-protected area on my website. The video will play. I do have it listed as a featured listing. I do have some basic information. This is right from GSMLS, as is this. Now, this is a new enhancement for anyone on the Prime Agent website on your custom pages, and when I did this yesterday, this is the first time I saw this populate up. It will now give you the option of including a Contact Me module within a custom page. So I did just so that you can see what it looks like. Add that in. But literally, this took me about 5 minutes to put together, and it is all copy and paste. This is copy and paste from mobile. The rest of this was copy and paste and regular text from GSMLS. Now, for anyone that is not inclined or is rolling their eyes because they're thinking that they can never do that, the other option in using your web when you're working with a seller or a potential seller, owner, and you want to tell them that you have your own website and that you will feature the listing, right now one of the ways to do that is with these images. We have an opportunity to go in and change our images, our website images, at will. So you can promise somebody they'll be there for 30 days as a featured listing. If it's the only listing that you have, you can leave them there longer, however you want to do it. But I was working with Jackie yesterday. She does those just listed e-cards, or what she calls e-flyers, whatever it is that she had called it. She had sent me one over, and we're going to have to play around with fitting it. But I was able to mess around. It's not as pretty as hers, but I was able to put something together. And like I said, Jackie and I, because that would be the person that would do it for you, she will create an image that says featured listing and a little blurb about the property. But I'm going to go in and just show you how quickly. I'm going to go to the agent website. This is my dashboard for the agent website. Here are your homepage images. And you would simply have Jackie put together an image that you would click here and upload just like you would any other photo. Once it populates in here, this is mine, you're simply going to drag it in here and click on Save Changes. Now, once you get back to your website, I'm going to click on a refresh button. There it is. So now, and the rest of the pages, so it'll still scroll through like anything else, but you can simply offer, and that might be easier, you can simply offer the featured spot on your Prime Agent website for that seller, for that consumer, while you're on that listing appointment. So there's two ways right there that you can utilize your website while you're on a listing appointment, in that you can feature them either in this image spot, or you can go crazy with yourself and create one of the e-property sites and get a domain directly through here. If this is something that you're going to feature, like right now, because this listing isn't actually for sale, just so that you can see, and again, this isn't a website class, but if I click on my web pages, I simply just clicked on and add a page, and I'm going to click on edit so you can see what this page looks like. I simply clicked on add a page and populated everything in here. It was all copy and paste. But now if I want to take that off, because it's only on there when I'm on my listing presentation, it's not actually for sale, if I simply just switch this to draft and save pages, that will stay in. I'm going to go back to web pages. That will stay in with an option to publish, and it will come off my agent website. From here, and now you will see that it is no longer in my sidebar. But if on my next listing presentation, if I wanted to use that as a sample again, it would simply just be a matter of going in, clicking publish, making it live, utilizing it, and then coming back and turning it off, and hopefully getting that listing and doing an e-property site for that listing. Again, when we get into some of the advanced Prime Agent classes, I'll get more into this. But as far as the image, that's not something that anyone should have an issue with. Again, I will talk to Jackie. I'm going to send her what I have for sizing, and she will be able to just put a little banner on the side. This seems to be, it stretches it up, so that banner on the side seems to be the best possible option as far as putting the words featured home. And then again, this little tag with the property address, bedroom, bath count, and price. So I am going to slide back really quickly and see if anyone has any questions on the website, because then we are going to move on to Executive Edge and then mobile, and we'll be finished for today. All right? I'm not seeing any questions in there, and I'm not seeing anyone popping on as far as texting. So we are going to, again, go back to my desktop. And now we are going to go into, I love that little bubby, Executive Edge. And here's Executive Edge. So how do we use Executive Edge? Yes, on a listing appointment, we can tell them that we will be sending out email blasts. That's obviously one of the first options. That is really part of Toolkit. We'll show people how we use email campaigns. But the other way to feature them, and I did play with this today, is that same graphic that I had Jackie populate. Anyone that is working with me on the e-newsletter, we have discussed several times, and I will get into this when we go into our next Executive Edge class or CRM class, and the custom personal greeting. What I simply did was copy, because once you upload it to your website, it becomes a web-based image. So from my website file manager, I just did a right click, I copied, I pasted, and I resized, and I put that same exact image, into my e-greeting, and instead of doing a holiday, I have it in my custom personal greeting, and I'm going to show you real quickly when I do a preview what that looks like. How cool is that? It popped right in here. So there's your Executive Edge, and there is a way that you can preview. They'll get your next preview or featured spot on your e-newsletter. So that's one way to do it. I know that the last Executive Edge class we talked about possibly putting it into an article. Personally, because they have to do a double click through to see that information, I like the e-newsletter in the custom greeting. The difference would be if you put them in an actual article, you can link back where you really can't do that. Although on the newsletter here, let's give that a shot, because I may be. We click on my custom greeting. In here, see, Lion Like a Run. I can actually insert a link and link that image, if they're so inclined, back to that listing detail page on my website. Again, not getting too crazy, just showing you what you can do with some of our tools. So you can, once you put that image in there, actually from your e-newsletter, link that back, and they would simply click on it. And you may want to have Jackie include some verbiage to encourage them to do that. But you can click on it and bring them back to your website from your e-newsletter, capturing a lead, and have them look at the details of the page. Or if you went crazy with yourself and did that e-property page, you can click them to that domain name and bring them straight to the e-property page. Either way, it works. They're on your website, and you have the opportunity of capturing them as a lead, and you would have impressed your seller while you're on that listing presentation. So that's it with Executive Edge. We're going to go to mobile next, but I am going to click back yet again and see if anyone has any questions that they're putting in that box as far as Executive Edge. And I'm going to take that as a no. And again, I apologize. I did re-record this, which is why I started over, so it should be in full on YouTube by this afternoon if you want to actually rewind and go back and check out what we're doing. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go back and share. And the last piece of our puzzle is our mobile marketing and how we can utilize that in move this out because I don't need it here anymore either. So let's go back to our Prime Agent, and as usual, we start from the beginning, which is our dashboard. And I'm going to click on Marketing and Mobile Marketing. And here is my dashboard. So the first thing we want to do is talk about, and I do go into this when we go into mobile, but this is when we're on a listing appointment. You've got an option right here, right in your dashboard, to do an extremely generic seller marketing sheet. And it's simple. It opens up. It's got your information, but it's got a generic house, and it's got Main Street in Anytown, USA. So how do we do this? How do we bring something with our mobile that makes it more custom? Well, we have on our mobile app, and I didn't put that up, but I'm going to do it so you can see what I'm looking at. On our mobile app, we would have the same sample. You can see here, this is the sample that I created that video with on my individual property page. You should always have a sample of the mobile ready to show people what it looks like. Please, please, please have it be one of your listings. Have it be something that you sold. If you don't have one yet, speak to your manager. I'm sure that they'll be happy to give you something that you can use, and always mark it sold, because otherwise you're advertising a property that's not for sale, which is why I have the sold all over the place, including my e-property listing. So I would have this in here for them to look at, but let's just say we're going on a listing appointment and we want to show them what their house can look like, or pre-populate a more custom seller marketing sheet. So I am simply going to create a new home, and I am going to do, I'm still in the building again, to show you how quickly this can be done. MLS number, I'm putting all zeros because there isn't one. I'm putting, does it let me? I'm going to put all zeros here. My bedroom, we know it's a 4-bedroom, and we know it's a 2-bath. The rest of this I'm going to leave for the most part. This can be a to be determined. It allows, it's not going to. I think it'll take it without it because I've done it before. In the, oh, that's wrong. Let's go into here. Manually define property information, and that's where I didn't click on that, is where this should be, because it asks a lot less questions. So, Jersey, and I think this is where I did my 0, and text copy, wonderful, or bedroom, you get the gist. Type in as much copy as you can in here if you know it about the property. And I am going to just click on Submit Property. Let's make it put. Have something in all in, so I'm just going to paste exactly what I need there. We get into the mobile class is when I get crazy. All right, so now I'm going to simply go to my photo slot, and I'm going to replace this. And I'm going back to my documents, and I actually have a file full of house pictures. Click on house, and we are going to sell. So now, once that uploads, I am going to simply submit changes. And from the property file, let's go back to, you'll see here now, we've got a seller marketing sheet within that code. So now when I click on that, it took me no time at all. When I click on that, I will have a property profile sheet. Let me take this down to 100, that has the actual property on here. So you can get more specific, and this looks a lot more personal when you're at that house than clicking that first one. It took minutes, as long as you have obviously a picture of the front of the house, and let it be yours, not the last agent's. Have it be your photo, and you have something that is a little bit more custom. So there's this seller sheet. Again, kind of going over the mobile, what you can offer them with mobile. Well, they're going to be a featured list. They're going to be a featured listing on your mobile app. They've got featured. You'll have theirs now. You can actually show them theirs, because once you do that, although it doesn't have a YouTube video because there's only one image, you can still bring that up on your mobile app. So they'll be featured. They'll have that rider, that artwork in all of the print. Vanessa had come up with a term when we were working on the new custom CMA, and I have to tell you, I use it all the time, especially if you're up mostly in the Sussex, Warren, parts of Morris, and Passaic, where people are still into that touchy-feely newspaper thing, is I emphasize the fact that we integrate the old-fashioned newspaper and the new high-tech so that we are reaching buyers of all walks of life. You don't have to say ages, but all walks of life. We are reaching buyers through interactive print media. I love, love, love that term. I use it all the time, and it really is a warm fuzzy. So it will touch any seller, anybody that you are sitting with as far as owners go. You've got that whole, this is what we use in print, so if they're into the homes and estates and you're doing your open house, that is where that marketing artwork, that is the print version or the JPEG or image version of the rider. You don't necessarily have to have the physical rider in order to utilize the mobile marketing, to the fullest potential that we have. So that is, and then you've got, they've got their video on YouTube. So even if you're not going crazy with a premium virtual tour, they will have a YouTube video of the house with music and content on YouTube anyway. And then, of course, you've got that seller sheet. So as much as I thought I was actually going to kick on an hour, I knew it was going to be short, and I was able to get through it all. Don't have any field guides for you today. Unfortunately, they don't have too many field guides as far as listing presentations, because everybody wants you to buy something. So we are going to go into questions on the toolkit, the Realty Executives PowerPoint, any of the website, Executive Edge, or mobile marketing. Now would be the time to pop it in. If it's too long a question and you'd rather reach out to me directly, by all means, you can do that as well. Otherwise, I am wrapping it up, and I am not seeing any questions, so I'd like to say thank you. Get out there. I know we do have some broker open going on, especially up in Sussex with some of our agents, so get out there and support the team. Have a great day.